just areas of my life, like seasons of my life where I'm really, really, really scared and somebody really great can be sitting right in front of me. But it's all about timing. I'm like, if I'm scared right now, I'm gonna fumble you. But if I'm in a position where I'm not scared and I'm like healthy and I'm strong and I'm thinking clearly, and there's somebody, that's not never when somebody healthy lands in front of me though. It's always the fuckboys that fall in my lap when I'm ready to frickin' rock and roll, you know? So when that thing, he ended up moving to Europe and he wanted to have that experience. And by that point I was like, okay, do whatever you want. I'm not going to like sit here and beg for you. So I let him go. And then in the interim started dating Ian again. And then him and I did the back and forth thing, broke up with him again. Then I dated again when he moved back very briefly. And then what was it? The beginning of this year, I started dating Ian again. And at that point, since it had been round 3 or whatever it was, I remember telling myself, listen, you keep coming back to this guy. So in my mind, I thought he must just be the one because you've never done this with anybody else before.
And
why
in
do you
my mind, I was like, red flags, red flags everywhere.
Looking back, I get that. Like now, duh, it's a red flag, of course. But from, you know, where I'm sat and my rose-colored glasses are on, I'm like, this must be love. Like, we keep coming back to each other.
Something that you have to be aware of as a lover girl is that you are naturally going to attract boys. Like, literally, boys are literally just right up your alley because you all are both hypersexual, but only one of you actually cares about emotions and feelings. So be careful out here in these trenches, babes.
What's good, gang? Let's freaking chat. Let's talk about healing and becoming your best self. Let's talk about the fuck boys that you keep fucking with. And you're probably wondering, like, oh my god, but why do I attract all these fuck boys? Well, bitch, have you analyzed your life? Have you thought, like, do I feel unworthy of healthy love? Have you sat and re-examined the things that are triggering, the kind of traits that all of these men have in common? Do they all have commitment issues? Do they all treat you a certain way? And how does that correlate with how your parents parented you? Did your dad do that, something similar? What about your mom? Have you ever thought about that? Because the moment you do is the moment that you start healing. It took me a long time to understand, like, wait, you're going after all of these fuckboys who like show no emotion because like you are afraid to feel any emotion. You're going after the fuckboys who were like uncommittal because truthfully, bitch, you're scared to be in a relationship. You're scared to be vulnerable. You don't know what it means to have feelings, and I had to teach myself that.
Once you fully heal and you know what the fuck you deserve and what you don't deserve and things of that nature, once you ask God for discernment, once you ask God that you can see, hear, taste, smell the way that he does, you'll be able to tell what's not from you from a mile away. It will put a bad taste in your mouth. It will put a bad feeling in your stomach. That person, that thing, that place is not for you. Ask God for discernment. Ask God for faith. And you need to heal. You need to work on yourself. You need to be alone. That's why you're attracting fucked up people. And you're also attracting fucked up people because you're a healer. You're a healer, and you have to be careful with your energy and where you put it out to. Because people will suck you the fuck dry and leave you alone when they're fucking healed themselves or when they're fucking done with you and want to move on to the next fucking person. Work on yourself. Pray.
Women saying they constantly attracting F-Boys, bad men, terrible men, and then they experience with the men that they are, you know, going after is then speaking up to all men as a monolith. So all the men that they had, you know, they attracted to represents all the men, and they all the same. And it says something about the women. You know, I think the women really like going after guys that don't like them, because the guys that show interest in them is just a turnoff to them. The guys that treat them right, the guys that hold doors, be a gentleman, they don't like that shit. Most women don't like it. And I think women like the challenge of trying to conquer a man that they can't have. I really think that's the challenge. It's not even just like, you know, about like how men look at it, like, oh, she bad, I want to get her. Or all the guys want her, but I want to conquer her, make her a wife. I want to, you know, she attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, But women, I just think the level of difficulty, they like to play on Hall of Fame. And when they get with these guys and they come off thirsty to these guys, and these guys just sleep with them and they won't give them a commitment, even if the guy never gave them a commitment, now all men ain't shit. You know, now all the men ain't shit. In general, it ain't even about all the men not being stuff. It's just that a lot of women like to go out and shoot above their level. It ain't 1 or 2 shots above their level. Most women can go 1 or 2, 3 shots above their level. With men, they like to go all the way to the moon. And then when guys talk about, well, you're not my preference, or, you know, I really don't, you know, I don't see a relationship with you or nothing like that, then none of these men want a relationship. All these men ain't shit. You know, and then also it's about the character. It's also about the character of a lot of the women, man. Like, if you just come in begging and taking and taking and taking and taking and begging and taking, most guys, you know, just gonna, and you're not bringing nothing to the table. You know, I know women hate that. You're not bringing nothing to the table. You're not bringing nothing to the table, then, you know, if you just extracting and not replenishing, or extracting and not add nothing, most guys gonna look at that and be like, nah. It's just that a guy's just not gonna sit here and just do all these great things for you and you just do nothing. All you do is take. It's not gonna work that way. It's not gonna work that way. It's just not. So if a woman's constantly attracting F-boys, a lot of times it really has to deal with, it would really just have to deal with you as a woman. You know, your appearance, your attitude. When you get into a relationship with guys like you in the beginning of the relationship, they were like, and then they change on you, it's probably because they really got to know you. They really got to know you. So a lot of women gotta realize, man, yeah, your beauty or attractiveness get you through the door, but you know how we mesh and how we get along, you know, and how supportive you are, you know, that goes a long way. That goes a long way. That goes a significantly wrong way. Most women just believe in that, oh shit, I'm the table, and me putting this makeup and stuff on is enough, and me, you know, getting a BBL is enough. Dog, for a dude to really want a relationship and possibly marry you, he got to be able to trust you. The loyalty got to be there. The love got to be there. The trust got to be there. He got to enjoy being around you. And I remember the brother Media Man said something. You know, his fiance was the one when she was better than his alone time. Let me say something about a guy being alone most of the time. That's some of the best time. The best peace a man get is being alone. You know, as a man, when your phone rings, you know it's a favor, something went wrong, somebody went to the upper room. That's one of the most frightening things, is when you get a phone call. It is. Somebody want to borrow some money. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody want to borrow some money or something. So it is a frightening thing, but but for most people, for most people, bro, I mean, most women got to understand the beauty gets you through the door. You know, you could wake up ugly to the motherfucker, but if you cool, y'all have fun, y'all had a good night, y'all vibed, y'all vibe, and he enjoy being around you. That's the number one thing to me, is, you know, enjoy being around people. You know, having a good time, not arguing over nothing. We can just do things together. And a lot of people, when it came to 2020, when they had to stay together and they had to be in the same house, they couldn't survive together because they had nothing in common. A lot of women just always want to do what they want to do. TV shows, all that shit. A lot of women just want to do what they want to do. TV shows, or we want to do this. When it's a man's birthday, they plan for what they want to do on their man's birthday. It's having a little bit of, selflessness. If you find a woman that's selfless, I ain't gonna say selfless, but not as selfish or selfless, or thinks about others and cares about others, that's a top trait in a woman, right? With loyalty and being trusting, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can have communication. Y'all ain't gotta yell and scream. When y'all argue, y'all had disagreements, y'all both can remain calm. But hey, appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to explain the 3 type of F-boys that a lot of women deal with when they are dating. And yes, I'm going to use a little bit of Love Island references in regards to the Islanders, so you can kind of get a visual like, oh, okay, I get what you're talking about. But even if you don't watch the show, I'm going to explain it so thoroughly that it's still going to make sense. So number 1 is more like a Corbin, the unapologetic playboy. This is the guy that he don't really give no F's. Like, that's not to say that he's going out of his way to like be brutal, like trying to hurt your feelings, but he's definitely going to choose himself, and he's not going to care about it. Like, you're going to have a good time, but you just know that it's only going to be surface level. The conversations are only going to be surface level. Y'all not going to really have too many times where y'all are arguing and it feels like y'all are a couple. And he gives you the option to say, hey, this is who I am. I don't want nothing serious. I don't want no girlfriend or none of that. So I'm not going to future fake with you. It's either going to take it or leave it. And the reason why these type of men don't really get too much flack, because you see him from a mile away, because he's so overly honest. So if you go forward with that and you feel like he's playing you, really you're playing yourself, because he told you what it was. Number 2, I would say this is more a sincere, the boundary tester, where he presents himself as a good guy, but he will test your boundaries. He will test your limits. And the reason why a lot of women are so triggered by these type of men is because this is the type of guy that comes in your life the most. Because he treats you like a boyfriend and you feel like you're his girlfriend, y'all do all these type of things in regards to what it feels like in a relationship, but y'all never end up being in a committed relationship. It's always vague. And because he's so cool and he treats you a certain type of way, and the intimacy physically and emotionally, you become addicted to this type of guy. You feel like you're in love with him, but really you're attached. That's not to say that, your feelings aren't real, but the attachment is more deeper than anything. What's crazy, he's also attached to you as well, and you can feel it. That's what makes the situation or the dynamic so intense. And also why the dynamic can be a bit toxic. And that's because he lacks boundaries within himself. And a person like him, a man like him who lacks boundaries, he has no problem with testing yours. Not necessarily in a malicious way, but he wants to pretty much test to see how much you like him. He's always trying to get that indirect reassurance. So he'll throw out a couple of softballs to make it seem like he's just so all into you. He is, but at the same time, he's testing to see if you are more into him. So overall, this is where you get the push, pull, the mind games, and the roller coaster. And yes, I will do this video again and go even more in depth on my YouTube channel. So yes, the link is in the bio on Instagram and TikTok. Number 3, I will say this is more like a KC. So for the people that don't watch the show, I would name this the nice guy, but if he's challenged, he would definitely be a F-boy. Like, he's that type. On paper and dating him, he's not the typical F-boy. So he would be the type that you would take home to mama, you want him to be your husband, not boyfriend, husband. He does all of the lover boy things that make you feel safe. However, the moment that he feels disrespected, taken for granted, he will use that as an excuse to do him. Now, he's similar to a number 2, but the only difference is it takes a lot for him to like get to that point, which on the show, KC even said that. But when he's there, it's kind of hard for him to come out of that. So if you have one of these type of guys and he ends up being an F-boy, I wouldn't say 100%, but I would at least say 70% you probably did self-sabotage the situation, like an Anaya.